Now at 6, the city of Joplin receives a large grant to make improvements to Zora Street. What this will mean for drivers. Plus details about a possible pay increase for Joplin's firefighters. And police in Oklahoma put a 12-year-old girl in custody for the alleged killing of her 9-year-old brother.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Millions of dollars in improvements are coming to Joplin's Zora Street. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. The work will focus on East Zora from Range Line to Highway 249. KOAM's Yana Hautala spoke with city officials and residents about the importance of the project.
Zora Street in Joplin is getting some big improvements thanks to a $4 million state grant. Joplin Public Works Director Don Johnson says the use of Zora Street drove the city to put money where the traffic is.
The people that live there and the people that drive that route, I am getting a lot of support. A lot of people recognize this project needs to be done.
Businesses around the area with big trucks are excited about the road development on Zora Street as it can make the traffic smoother.
We can see truck traffic and car traffic backed up all the way up to these entrances, and then once we start getting backed up into our entrances, then we start slowing the progress to getting into the trailer park down here.
Don's cold storage and dry storage see anywhere from 200 to 250 trucks a day at the Zora and Duquesne intersection. They say a truck-friendly roundabout will help.
Improving the intersection, making it more efficient to get through, it's safer and it saves money, and also there's an environmental impact.
Starting from Range Line, the road towards North Duquesne Road will see curb and gutter improvements, as well as storm sewer system. North Duquesne to Highway 249 will get new paved shoulders.
If you needed to get out of the lane for whatever reason, you have some place that you can pull over.
When work begins, there will be traffic changes. That includes the Zora-Duquesne intersection closing completely.
We had 2 ways to go. We could attempt to allow traffic partially through the intersection, or we could just get the whole thing done in a shorter period of time.
In Joplin, Yana Hautala, KOAM News.
City officials estimate the project will start in the fall of this year or the spring of 2024. Completion will take about a year. Joplin firefighters are now getting bigger paychecks due to an agreement between the Joplin City Council and the union. The 11.2% increase will help hire additional firefighters and keep the ones the city already has. The increase will allow the fire department to hire 14 new people, which will be a total of 102. Police received a 12% increase, and other city employees get a 4% hike.
It was a weight lifted off my shoulders to actually get the contract done and signed. You're weighing yourself. You're on the city side, but you also want to make sure that your folks are taken care of.
The pay increase started in December 31st. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us now with a first look at the weather.
Thank you very much, Dow. It was a beautiful day across the 4 states. Lots of sunshine, light winds, and wonderful temperatures, especially for the first part of January. Radar is all clear right now, but that's going to be changing as we head over the next couple of days. But let's enjoy this evening. Temperatures dropping down through the 50s into the 40s by this evening and all the way down to 35 by tomorrow morning, which is still above normal for this time of year. Generally, normal is around mid-20s. Not this afternoon. We were in the 60s across a large part of the area. In fact, we were very close to the record high across the area, and now we're starting to see temperatures dropping down into those 50s. A little bit look down the lane. We're going to see a warm couple of days, but then things are going to change Wednesday night into Thursday morning, but we have a mild weekend ahead, as well as some rain chances early next week. And of course, I'll have all the details on that coming up in just a bit.
Skeletal remains found in Colorado have been identified as those of a Joplin man. Authorities say Michael Kroll was reported missing in the Pagosa Springs area of Colorado in October of 2021. The remains were discovered by hikers last September, but DNA testing just confirmed that they are those of Kroll. Kroll was 41 when he disappeared. No word on the cause of death. A celebration of life service for Kroll is set for January 28th at Unity of Joplin Church. Authorities are searching for a man who robbed the Casey's store at gunpoint in Airport Drive, Missouri. The robbery occurred just before 10 last night at the Casey's on 5869 North Main Street. Authorities say the robber demanded cash and left, then got into a car and went east toward Webb City. No one was injured, and there is no word yet on who that robber might be. The Barton County, Missouri Sheriff's Office responded to an armed robbery at Lamarty's truck stop in Lamar Heights. They say the robber demanded cash, left the store in what authorities believe was a red Ford Escape. The car then went north on I-49. They say that robber has tattoos over both eyes and a tattoo on his right hand. If you have any information, you can call the Barton County Sheriff's Office. A 12-year-old girl is in custody in Tulsa after fatally stabbing her 9-year-old brother, according to police. Reporter Justin Ayer has details.
A quiet but somber morning at the Riverbank Plaza Apartments. Just before midnight Thursday, Tulsa police say a 12-year-old girl fatally stabbed her 9-year-old brother.
I cannot believe that. That's absolutely insane.
Neighbors like Marty Parsons are in shock, and so are police, trying to piece it together with their child crisis unit.
This is such an extreme point of atypical behavior that we see. Last year we had nearly 70 homicides. Not a single one of them was perpetrated by a 12-year-old.
Fire and EMSA crews tried to revive the boy with CPR, but officers say he died in the hospital about 2 hours later. Police say officers learned the children's parent was asleep upstairs when the sister woke the parent up to tell the parent she stabbed her younger brother. The 12-year-old suspect is currently in custody at the Family Center for Juvenile Justice, where the juvenile court system decides how long she'll stay there.
Sometimes juveniles are what's called a youthful offender, where they've committed a heinous crime, and even if they're under 18, they still get charged as an adult. In this case, the suspect is so young that that's not going to happen.
A motive hasn't been released. It's got Parsons contemplating her own future.
I don't know if I even want to stay now, because that's crazy.
While the family remains on everyone's mind.
In a general sense, they're losing two children. One is now deceased, and one is now the suspect.
The Tulsa Police Child Crisis Unit is handling that investigation. Coming up, a new school, but possible new traffic issues. How Joplin plans to address potential traffic problems around Dover Hill Elementary. Plus, the Kansas State Wildcats enter the national rankings this season. We're going to tell you where they now sit. School's in session at Dover Hill Elementary, but some are concerned that the site of Joplin's newest school might also be the site for Joplin's latest traffic problems. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke with the Director of Public Works in Joplin to learn, will this new school affect the flow of traffic?
Dover Hill Elementary is Joplin's newest school. It's located at the intersection of North Main Street and Murphy Boulevard, a busy area for commuters.
The city and the school district work together along with the Department of Transportation, and a traffic study was conducted for the school. It's a big enough traffic generator that we felt that was important.
The traffic study was vital when planning the new school.
That's why you will see the location of the entrance and exit onto Main Street. That was a result of that study, and then the location for the parent drop-off and pickup. Why that entrance comes off of Murphy Boulevard.
A new school can mean a frenzy of buses and parents picking up and dropping off students here at the intersection of Murphy Boulevard and North Main Street in Joplin. However, the school and the city made sure to work together to make sure that your commute to work is not hindered by the additional traffic.
And everyone was, of course, working towards the same goal. We were concerned about safety to the traveling public and the folks using the school. So it all went very well.
The school district estimated 200 cars per day for pickup and drop-off. That's in addition to Main Street's 16,000 daily cars and Murphy Boulevard's 5,000 daily cars. However, they say no need to fret about traffic congestion.
And I think with those numbers, you can see 200 vehicles is really not going to have much of a major impact.
Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Dover Hill Elementary also implemented a staggered dismissal time so traffic is not greatly affected. A little bit later, the Kansas City Chiefs look ahead to their playoff matchup in 2 weeks. We'll hear from them.
And we've had a pretty nice stretch of nice weather across the area for January. That's unusual, and of course it's going to come to an end. I'll have the details in just a bit. Well, friends, we have had a stretch of really nice weather across our region for early January. Temperatures close to record highs, just the kind of records we like to set this time of year. Right now in Seneca, Missouri, pretty nice evening down there at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Going to be a pretty nice evening pretty much all night long and into the overnight hours. Might need a little jacket by tomorrow morning, but as you can see over the last 36 hours, we were kind of cool yesterday, but then we dropped into the 30s, and then this afternoon we really zoomed up there, up into the 60s across a large part of the area. In fact, we were 64 degrees, which was only 3 degrees away from the record set back in 1963. And of course, we were 20 degrees above normal for the high and about 7 degrees above normal on the low. And let's take a look at the satellite view. Mostly sunny skies across a large chunk of real estate, including most of the central plains. Just a few cirrus clouds this afternoon. Those are now moving away, but there are more clouds developing off towards the west, and that's in association with a series of storms that have been impacting California. Look at this monster that's just sitting off the northwest coast, and there's one right after the other in the Pacific Ocean that's going to have its sights set on California, but once it gets here, they'll be weaker. And so we'll see that in our forecast in just a bit. Temperatures right now are generally in the 50s, a few 40s up to the north, like in Iola with 47, 49 in Fort Scott, and 48 in Stockton. Meanwhile, it's 57 down in Grove. And temperatures are generally around 10 to 12 degrees warmer today than they were 24 hours ago. So at least we're on the positive side as far as the temperatures go. And dew points are starting to increase a little bit as we start to see southerly winds impact our area and bringing up some Gulf moisture in time to meet up with a frontal system from the west. Right now it's 52 in Joplin. Of course, no feels like right now. 33 on the dew point, and the pressure is currently rising. Good time to set the barometer at 29.99. Temperatures are going to be nice and precipitation is going to be low over the next 36 hours. Not really expecting much in the way of rainfall, but that's going to be changing as we go into Wednesday night and Thursday morning. But tonight, generally lows in the upper 20s to lower 30s, maybe some mid 30s down to the south on southerly winds. Then tomorrow, partly to mostly cloudy or mostly sunny skies, I should say, with highs in the upper 50s to around 60 degrees on southerly winds, and some of those winds could be a little bit breezy. Then as we go through time into Wednesday morning, a front is going to make its way to the northwest of our area with temperatures dropping behind it, but it's going to run out of gas. And then it's going to go back to the north as a warm front as we go through Wednesday afternoon with highs in the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees, even close to 70 down in Oklahoma. Then Wednesday night and Thursday morning, that's when the front comes back through. We start to see cold air drain into the area with northerly winds and temperatures in the 30s and maybe even a mixture of rain and snow, especially up towards the north. Rainfall amounts are generally going to be on the light side as we go through Wednesday night into Thursday morning, around a tenth or so, especially down to the south and east where the moisture will be a little bit deeper. All right, here's your 7-day forecast. 64 tomorrow, 62 Wednesday, and then the bottom falls out a little bit as we go back to more normal conditions on Thursday and Friday, and then we go right back into springtime a little bit next weekend with another chance of rain on Monday. So a little bit of a roller coaster there, Dow.
It's a bit of a dip, but really not too bad overall.
That's right.
Thanks, Sam. Still ahead, the Carl Junction girls hit the floor tonight in a top 10 matchup against Republic. And the Kansas State Wildcats make their first appearance in the AP National Poll since 2019. Jacob Leonard has that and more up next.
Well, tonight is a big night for the Carl Junction High School girls basketball team. The Bulldogs play at home tonight in a top 10 matchup against Republic. Now, Carl Junction is 10-1, ranked 4th in the state in Class 5. Republic is 12-1, ranked 6th in Class 6. That one will get started at about 7:15 in Carl Junction. We'll have highlights from the game right here tonight at 10. On the Kansas side, the Colgan girls are off to a 7-0 start this season. Panthers have climbed the state rankings up to number 3 in Class 2A. Now, their head coach, Abby Farabi, joined us in studio over the weekend to talk about the team's hot start and their 1-2 punch of Lily Brown and Lauren Torrance.
they're alike, but they're very different. Like, you know, Torrance is pretty good with her back to the basket. She can shoot the three really well, and she handles the ball. Lily can, you know, nearly touch the rim. You can throw her any pass. That's what we always tell them, just throw it up and give it a chance, and she can catch it. But they're doing a very good job of, you know, playing through each other and together, and they're both very, very unselfish. And 6'2", 6'1", they can run the court. I mean, I know I wouldn't want to be doing a scouting report against them.
You can check out our full interview with Coach Farabi on the sports page at KOAMnewsnow.com. The Kansas State Wildcats have entered the national rankings for the first time this season, sitting at number 11 in this week's AP poll. It's the first appearance for the Wildcats in the AP poll since 2019. K-State's 12-1 to start the season, and they got 3 straight wins over top 25 teams. The Kansas Jayhawks are up 1 spot to number 2 this week, while Mizzou stays put at number 20. The regular season is over. Now it's time for the playoffs for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs have earned the number 1 seed and a first-round bye in the AFC playoffs, going 14-3 in the regular season. On Saturday, Chiefs rolled by the Raiders 31-13 in their season finale. And with that win, the Chiefs finished the season 6-0 against AFC West opponents. Now, they don't know who they're going to play in the playoffs yet, but they do have this week off, and they're going to be ready for whoever comes to Kansas City in a couple weeks.
A couple of teams we've played, a couple of teams we haven't. So, you know, we'll try to focus in on the ones we think that we have a chance to play most of all, but also cover all of them. And while we have time with I'm saying as a coaching staff, and then we'll narrow that down for the players as we get them this week, you know, before we actually know for next week.
South Dakota State football won the FCS National Championship last night, beating North Dakota State 45-21. Former Joplin High School running back Isaiah Davis, he was a big part of it, rushing for 104 yards and a touchdown, while also picking up 28 receiving yards. And Davis led the national champs in rushing yards this year with 1,374 yards and 14 touchdowns. It's certainly been fun to watch him go from high school to college and continue to be as dominant as he was in high school. And he was a big, strong kid, fast kid in high school. He's gotten even bigger and faster and stronger, and it shows up on Saturdays.
Wow. We'll be right back. Take time now to honor a local veteran. John Drennan served in the U.S. Marine Corps from 1966 to 1970. The Joplin native was stationed in Vietnam, and we're proud to salute Lance Corporal John Drennan, a four-state hero. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Joplin City Council members look at a proposed study to improve the effectiveness of the city's communication efforts. Plus, what the new Republican-controlled House plans to do to start the term, and a look at some of the tech innovations showcased at this year's Consumer Electronics Show. Those stories, a lot more. It's coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Hey, take a look at the cutest addition to the Kansas City Zoo, that little tiny baby rhinoceros there at the bottom. According to the zoo's Facebook page, the critically endangered eastern black rhino calf made its debut on New Year's Eve. We don't know the gender yet. We're going to find out in the coming weeks when a neonatal exam is done. The zoo says once they know the calf's gender, they're going to welcome visitors to help choose a name. There are only about 740 black rhinos left in the wild. So it's certainly a welcome addition.
Yep.
Weather.
We have some nice weather in store for our area with temperatures in the 60s over the next couple of days, but then a little bit of a dip on Thursday and Friday, back to the 60s on the weekend with a chance of rain, and yet another dip late next week.
Final sports note.
Tonight's the national championship, Georgia TCU. We do have a little skin in the game for a local guy, Chase Curtis, former Pittsburgh Purple Dragon, on the roster for TCU, so we're all rooting for him tonight.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.